You've got a situation where we start the conflict. We escalate the conflict. We furnish weapons to both sides of the conflict. We keep it going, and then we filtrate that money back into various, not only the Clinton campaign or foundation and the Clinton Global Initiative, which only, by the way, only gives 3% of their funding back into contributions, which does a very good thing, very limited as it is. There's also 97% that goes to administrative costs or whatever, and tremendous salaries. But anyway, that's another thing that
sure, they steal money at every level. They're master criminals. I mean, I get it. So still, the elite haven't done stuff like this before, unless you're talking about the 80s, and they mopped all those up. So let me ask the Colonel, why do you think they're doing this?
Sir, I think it's, you go back to Rothschild, you know, you want to control an event, you control both sides. And I think we, much like when Tosh was involved in Cuba in '57. I mean, you know, the government armed both sides of that conflict. And I hope and pray, and I recently emailed House Oversight, I said, I hope and pray that ATF agent John Dodson, another true hero, wasn't entirely correct when he said, Matt, the politicians will always only do what's in their political self-interest. So I hope to God this time their self-interest coincides with the right thing. Well,
that's why we're doing this. Obviously, you're risking your life. Everybody here is. Let's not make bones about it, because we understand that you can't just arm these radical groups with high-tech, high-impact weapons, and it shows our elite is getting more and more insane before they try to stop this from happening, and they've obviously got some larger plan. And we want Congress and everybody to know, when the planes get shot down with these, you're not going to cover it up, and it's going to come out, and you're not going to get away with it. This is just so out of control. Colonel Smith-Meck?
Yes, sir.
Any other points you'd like to add?
Yeah, one thing, if I could, the person who Tosh knows him as well as Kent and others. We ensured information he had got to House Oversight end of September 2013, and just as a point of, again, before the fact information, the House Oversight was told late September, I think September 23rd, 2013, that there were grenades and grenade launchers involved with these weapons that going south. That wasn't just handguns and long rifles. And not until October 30th, 2014, did DOJ, OIG make that public. So when Congress says, well, nothing you have has led to anything, it's wrong. It's incorrect.
This was written about in Narco News in 2010 and 2011, exactly what Matt just said. Bill Conroy, a good investigative reporter, reported about this in a series of articles through Narco News. Any listener out there can go run Bill Conroy.
I remember Shelley Castile, the former DA agent, retired. He said they tried to hire him out by the King Ranch to actually train drug cartels, Sinaloa and others, as part of a huge civil war coming in Mexico. That was before all the killings started.
That's right. So the point being, this has been on record for a number of years, but our agencies have refused, including CIA, and I'll say it right straight into your camera, including the CIA and their CIA COG division, or whatever you want to call it, and their SAP, Special Access Programs, which I'm not supposed to talk about, and all the fusion centers that we are not supposed to know about. They all have this information and refuse to act upon it. Next week, according to our sources, which have been validated in more than multiple sources, or we'll be moving more guns international across the Mexican border. We will be photographing, and we're typing our hand, we're talking to someone else here on this camera. We're not just we're sending a message to someone else. We're tired of your BS. We're coming after you. Simple as that. We will photograph your weapons.
Amen.
We will document, since the Congress and the Senate does not want to do this, since the FBI, for whatever reasons they've got, don't want to get involved in this because of the White House and their administration does not want us to continue.
Absolutely. When they get out of control, they force people to do desperate things.
Going through, if they don't want to continue, then we will continue it for them. And we will give the information to them. And we will document it. I've been on this thing for 10 years, Alex. 10 years. You've been on it with me for at least 4. Now, it's been vetted more than once. We have been so desensitized on this international gun running that they are now think that they can get by and cram it right down our throat, and we're not going to do a damn thing about it. I personally, number one, am putting it with my career, my life at 78 years old, and saying one simple thing: we're coming after you. You're not going to steal my country anymore. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist, and I want my country back.
Absolutely. Amazing words. And let's put the House Oversight Committee phone number up. You don't get an email there. You just put it in the box, and then you send them your email, oversight.house.gov. You can go there and click on the contact. There's a phone number also on the site, and we can show that. And it's 202-225-0037, 202-225-0037. But, folks, this is real here. You can also click right there and then email them. It says, blow the whistle. They want you to blow the whistle. Yeah, right. Let's start a whitehouse.gov petition to stop the White House from shipping more guns to ISIS and al-Qaeda. We'll do that today. Gentlemen, I'm going to come back and do 5 more minutes with you, then I'm going to get to the other news. But just your courage is amazing. This isn't about having courage, folks, but there's got to be some bottom to this, is what Tosh and Colonel Smith-Mac are saying. Where does it come next where the people on the bases are blowing the whistle? It's all going on. It's all illegal. It's going to the Middle East, al-Qaeda and ISIS. It's totally insane. Congress has been told no one will do anything. I mean, this is crazy. I'm Alex Jones. This is the Info War. Stay with us. They're now getting a lot of these weapons into Europe, killing people there. Western governments have brought 5 million, quote, refugees in, most of them military-age men, to Europe. We don't know the numbers here. They'll claim, oh, a few hundred in Texas, and then it's a few hundred per high school, and then per middle school. I mean, my alma mater had 232 Syrian and Iraqi refugees last year. It was in the newspaper. The school's collapsing because of it. We called all the other schools. They had them, too, by the hundreds. Then they said, oh, Texas has gotten 400 refugees last year. Thousands and thousands in Austin. They admit the C-130s land at night. Nobody's checked. They're just let in. They admitted, the Associated Press, Minnesota's got 22% of these immigrants have tuberculosis. Now they've got this flesh-eating bacteria. That's in the news. What is our controlling elite thinking? Why are they so wed to jihad? Are they planning to let them have a big Tet offensive here? Then use that Tet offensive to take our rights? Here's the latest article up on Infowars.com. It's red-linked. Facebook, Twitter banning free speech to form virtual superstate. Kit Daniels just wrote an article about the Bloomberg AP articles that whitewashed it all. Put out an article basically breaking down the reality as they announced that we're all working with governments to shut down the anti-government speech. Talk about Benghazi, they restrict you, they ban you. Well, the answer is speak out more, get involved more, take action more. Now, we have just a few minutes left here, and I appreciate Colonel Matt Smith-Mac, recently retired from the Marine Corps, and Robert Tosh Plumlee, famous whistleblower, who for a decade's been exposing this, but the last few years got out, retired from what he was doing as contracting for the CIA and others, and has exposed it. And this is big stuff you're hearing. And I don't go, oh, I'm breaking a big story. That's good for my show. I sit here with a rock in the pit of my stomach and go, I've got to really cover some stuff here that 99% of people are too scared to do, because I know where it leads. I'm scared of where it leads if this continues. So the word has got to get out. It's getting more and more dangerous. Let me ask Colonel Smith-Mac and Plumlee. Clearly, this is a Tet offensive, too, with jihadis. Clearly, they know with these numbers, we're going to have San Bernardinos at some point when they all start activating on a weekly basis, maybe every day. And they've clearly said in Europe, we're banning your free speech because if you criticize Islam, they attack us. So the formula is bring them in, let them attack us. When they attack, take our rights. Just like give them Stinger missiles, let them blow up airplanes. How does the political elite suspend logic at a level like this to be the cause of all of our crises, the cause of our problems, and then use the problems to kill what's left of the Western world? I mean, it's so transparent. How are they getting away with this, or do you disagree with that analysis, Colonel?
No, sir, I agree with your analysis, and I think they're just betting on the hope of and that the American people have apathy. And I just plead with our fellow American citizens, don't let this happen. I mean, imagine you're Josephine Terry, the mother of Brian Terry, who's been lied to by our government, who Congress has said they would help, and they haven't. There's a lot of bloviating, and haven't been in the government. I understand, the kind of no offense intended. I'm part Polish, but the Polish salute, where nobody knows what's going on and nobody takes responsibility. That's part of the modus operandi here. And until we as citizens say enough, like Tosh and I have said and others, enough. We are going to expose this come hell or high water, because this is our country, dang it. This is not going to happen.
This is the
anymore.
line in the sand.
We got folks in government and out. This is the line in the sand. Yes, sir. I say, if we don't stop here, if we don't stop this and put our spine up and my God, we're Americans, not Americans. We gotta, I'm willing to put my life, my blood, my money, my everything on the line. I know Tasha's too, you as well, sir. And you got the Terry family, for God's sakes, like the families of the Benghazi thing, they just want some damn answers.
Well, it just shows how ruthless they are. 13-hour stand down, 8 hours of combat, let everybody die, then lie about it. I mean, it's just, and Hillary lying about being in combat, being shot at like Brian Williams, and then there's a shock 75% poll out. I'll still say that they want her to keep running even if she's indicted. I mean, Tosh, I get you. It's line in the sand. And if we know about this, Tosh, I wonder what else is going on. The good news is, and I know you talk to them too, a lot of current military people, officers, special forces, you name it, they've never been more awake and more upset. So the establishment better understand they're not invincible. Tosh?
All right, let me go back to the question you asked. Very simple as this. You asked why they let it go on. It's very simple. Would you take $265 million if you had your own private foundation set up, if it required you to let this stuff go on? Simple question, yes or no?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
Well, some people in Congress and the Senate and the POTUS and the White House would, and they have, and they've demonstrated.
So they sold us out. We've been sold out.
That they have. Now, let me back up here, and I don't want to hog the whole airways. One of the things that we have not covered here is that the investigation that I was investigating with Bill Conroy of Narco News, as far back as 2009 and 2010, Brian Terry, Border Patrol agent Brian Terry, was working. I didn't know it at the time. But Brian Terry was working on the very same thing that we're talking about here. He was told to not stand down, he was told to halt. That was the word used, halt, H-A-U-L-T, halt. Halt his investigation for safety's sake, political reasons. Anyway, he ended up getting killed in Peck Canyon. Questionable death on that matter, which we're currently investigating. We've been told to halt our investigation. It's not healthy to go there. Well, I'm going there. I've already been there, and I'm going to stay there, and so is Matt. And so anyway, we're using your airways, Alex, and we appreciate that. No one else will touch this information. We've just been out there for 10 years. It goes way back. I'm not going to ramble on and on like that, but those two things I wanted to bring up. Brian Terry is dead. And he was investigating the very same thing that we're investigating right now.
I understand. Well, listen, God bless you. Everybody needs to get involved and you take this video, when you do an article tomorrow, and just keep hammering. So when they shoot down airplanes with the Stinger missiles, or go into a school with the machine guns and kill 300 people, the Second Amendment in America doesn't get blamed. The veterans don't get blamed. The gun owners don't get blamed. The criminals that have gone too far and hijacked this nation get blamed. We'll get another update from you soon, gentlemen. But the answer for all our safety, stay in the sunshine and keep getting this word out. And thank you both, gentlemen.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Colonel.
Sure.
There they go.